Story 5, The Church Trip. Our church took a trip to Six Flags. I had a plus one. Preparing to go on the trip was just as fun as actually going. Getting on the rides, foods, snacks, and being with someone to share those moments with was cool, especially being young. I either won her a souvenir or I bought it, I can't remember, but it was a small teddy bear. Either way, she was endearing. When the park closed, we loaded back on the bus. The elders did a head count to make sure no one would be left behind. We were chatting ever so casually in our seats when she leaned over to me and whispered in my ear, "I'm gonna make sure you sleep real good tonight." I smiled a bit and became as curious as to how she'd make that happen. I didn't have to wonder long, as she initiated her plan before the lights on the charter even went off. She placed a towel in my lap beforehand. She had the seat close to the aisle and I had the inside. I couldn't see if she was drawing attention to us through the jerking of her hand underneath the blanket, but for some reason, we had the intermittent attention of the lady who was across from us in the seat forward. She would glance back at us, mainly making eye contact with me as though she knew I was receiving a hand job. My plus one leaned her head on my shoulder during her daring gesture. Our friend across the aisle kept looking for the sake of getting solid proof that I was manually being pleasured underneath the blanket. As good as I was feeling, I was mindful not to make any faces to provide solid proof of impending satisfaction. And then I came. Being young and having a sneak provided me with ample practice of being quiet and subtle. She, however, knew my body and what it took to satisfy me, and so she did. She felt me throbbing in her hand. No other reaction was necessary. When I came, she cleaned me up once I was empty. She cleaned me up using the same towel she wiped her hand off with and then snuggled next to me, being sure to tell me goodnight first. Then everyone was seated, and the bus took off to bring us back home.